We do have some gentlemen with us that the motorcycle is a very integral part of what they are and who they are and what they stand for. And we'll be visiting with those gentlemen today. We have Charles Green, Rick, and Dan, and we'd like to welcome you all to the studio today. To be honest about it, 3 weeks ago I wasn't even aware that your organization exists. And after reading some of your literature, I thought this is really a great idea that you guys are involved in. And it's something that every American hero, their family, their friends, they should know about this. So we've invited you here today to fill us in on all the details. And Charles, I guess one of the first things I have to ask is, did somebody just sit around a table someday and say, let's just form an organization, or how did this thing get started?
Well, first off, thank you, Michael, for having us. Excuse me. Patriot Guard Riders was established August of 2005 in Kansas. By American Legion Riders Chapter 136. They had heard of some protesters making noise at a fallen hero's funeral, and they wanted to do something about it. That is how Patriot Guard Riders started. October, it was put on the books, legit website up, the whole 9 yards. Within the first 2 weeks of it being on the website, there was better than 566,000 hits.
Now you're talking about a fallen hero. Is this a military person?
Yes. Yes. I don't know the logistics on it, but it was a veteran that had passed away, and they were doing a full-fledged military funeral for him. And there was a group that decided they did not like it and wanted to raise a little stuff about it, and this group, that's how the Patriot Guard Riders was formed.
So when you began the organization, did the fact that most motorcycle gangs were started by Vietnam veterans, did this hurt you in any way in developing your ridership and your membership? Did the fact that there was a correlation between the Nomads, the Banditos, Hell's Angels were coming out of Vietnam, did that hurt you in what you wanted to do very much?
At first it did, and we're still having some problems with that. We've got Vietnam Veterans Motorcycle Club is a large member in Kansas and Oklahoma of the Patriot Guard Riders. ABAT. Combat Vets is another big member. We are not a group, we are not a club, we are a non-profit organization of a bunch of people, over 165,000 members strong throughout the United States and Canada.
So this is what sets you aside from motorcycle gangs. You're an organization, you're chartered. Understand you received some recognition from the White House, is that correct?
Yes, we have. President Bush signed a deal, and I kept this where I wouldn't mess it up. I'm trying to look at it. He signed the Patriot Guard Riders Making a Difference. On Memorial Day, May 29, 2006, a bunch of the Patriot Guard Riders was honored to be invited to the White House as President George W. Bush signed the Respect for Americans Fallen Heroes Act.
Now, again, when we're talking about heroes, are we just limited to the military personnel?
No.
No.
Okay, who would be included in this title of the American hero?
Firemen, police officers, you know, anyone like that that protects the people.
So somebody that is mostly in tune with public service and people that we look to for our security and our safety. Okay. Well, what if, how would I know about you if I needed to call you guys and say, hey, you know, my friend has died and we need you for a funeral a week from now or whatever? How would I get in contact with you?
You can go to www.patriotguard.org, or you can go to www.pgrofky.com. That is her Kentucky State website. We have to be invited by a family member as an invited guest only to participate in a funeral. Or you can call my home phone.
Well, why is that you expect to be invited to participate?
Patriot Guard Riders, this is our way of saying thank you to that fallen soldier, the men, women. They signed, when they joined the armed forces, they signed a blank check on their life, not knowing whether they would come home or not. They signed a blank check. And this is our way of saying thank you for what you have done to protect our freedom here at home.
Well, Dan, who would I see about joining up?
Just all you have to do is go to the patriotguard.org website, log on, and you join. There's no membership dues, no meetings, no anything. And then, like in Kentucky, they would send it to us, and we would put you on our email list. And then if there was a mission or a meet and greet or something, then we just email you. If it's where you can make it, good. If you have to work or something, then that's fine too.
If your organization has received information from a family that they want you to participate, what happens then?
Well, if we're asked to come to a funeral, we normally will show up at the viewing and then listen to what they would like for us to do. And then once the funeral is prepared and we're there ready to go, then we'll form a flag line. Sometimes we do it at the funeral home. Most of the time we do it at the cemetery.
What is a flag line?
It's where the members of Patriot Guard stand in attention holding an American flag for the soldier that's being put to rest to pass through.
Well, we stand outside of the funeral home on the walkway going up, on each side. That is for the family to come through, as well as the visitors coming through to say their last goodbyes to them. We then, after the funeral service is done, we help escort the remains to the cemetery. We form a flag line there. We can do everything at a funeral but the 21 gun salute. We have a lady here at Calvert City, Kentucky, has come on board that plays a bugle for us. There's a gentleman in eastern Kentucky that plays a set of bagpipes over there. When we do a funeral, we are there on the family's request. They have invited us. We do not interfere in any way whatsoever with the family's wishes. We are there just to back them up, to shed them from protesting or anything like that. We are there as a blocker.
So you can say that out of protest comes something very positive.
Mm-hmm.
What about the protesters that stand on the other side of the street and do what they do, and they pronounce to you that they're within their rights? How does that affect what you do and how you do it?
We stand our ground. We just stand. We are not allowed to speak to them. We are not allowed to touch them in any way whatsoever. If they have a permit from the side of a building to the end of that sidewalk, from the street to the center of that street, we have a permit. We can back our motorcycles up, or cars. We can back our vehicles up against that curb to kind of help block them. I know of one incident that a police officer, we were doing a flag line for a fallen soldier. The protesters was there. and he come by and asked us to crank our motorcycles and drown them out, and we could legally do that. But that's it. We are not allowed, by national rules, we are not allowed to speak to them or touch them in any way.
So you're just more or less acting as a buffer between those who would degrade or run down an American hero. You're just trying to block them out and
Yes.
say, look, this is a very solemn, respectful occasion, and we don't really need this negativism that we're getting.
And doing the flag line, if we're lining the sidewalk and say it was your family, as you're walking in, they're across the street. With us standing there with the flags, we're kind of where you don't see them,
Right.
you know, and that way, or we can turn our back to them. That's supposed to show disrespect. In other states other than Kentucky, they have to stay 300 foot away. But unfortunately, a lady judge in Louisville said to take and stand across the street in Kentucky.
We consider it an honor to be allowed to attend a military funeral.
Are you members of the military or retired? Or?
I was but right at the end of Vietnam, registered, but never got called.
So you don't have to be a member of the military to be a member of the Patriot Guard?
No, sir.
No.
You do not even have to ride a motorcycle to be a member of the Patriot Guard Riders.
I was going to ask you about that. I'm very interested in perhaps joining your organization, but I don't ride a bike anymore. I'm just a little too old, I think, and the bones hurt, so I would have to be in a car. Now, what could I possibly do to help you by driving a car?
You could haul water for us. You could haul our American flags that we carry with us to do these funerals. If you got a trailer hitch, you could tow a trailer behind you in case one of the backs break down. We could load it and you could help us get it to where we can get it fixed. There's so much someone can do with a car or pickup truck that you really don't realize the part that you're playing is a large part.
So would you say that membership in this organization is actually could be a family affair?
Yes.
Yes.
That
very much
everybody
so.
in the family can do their part, may it be small or large, but and the end result is something positive. What about the troops that return home? You know, they've been deployed for 18 months or whatever, and they come home. Do you provide any kind of escort service or recognition of them coming home?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
In January of this year, I was fortunate enough to be asked to escort the 438th Military Police Unit out of Murray, Kentucky. We was asked to escort them from Paducah to Murray. That was an honor and a privilege for us to be allowed to do that.
March 31st, we went to Jackson, Tennessee.
Yeah,
There was a unit down there that had been deployed, some of them 2 and 3 times. We never had an escort. When we left the airport, they had 2 Apaches face off about 50 foot off ground, and we went between them.
Wow.
They escorted us about 50 miles, and then we had police escort all the way to Fort Campbell. We never stopped. We just rolled, and they blocked traffic. As we left Jackson, we went by a daycare center, and the teacher had all the little kids standing out there waving, you know, and there was other people too, but that particular one was really touching to me. And took them all the way to Fort Campbell.
Sounds like a great idea. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about today? Is there, I believe there's another organization that's going to be holding a rally of some sorts.
It's you talking about the Some Gave All ride?
Yeah, that's what it is. How does that interact with what you do?
The Some Gave All ride is and I'm not sure on who actually got it started, but they got out and got a bunch of large-scale donations. When this first started, there was, I think, 77 KIAs from the state of Kentucky. We're up to almost 90 now. This ride is going to cover 10 stops, 10 City Hall stops. It will be in Paducah, July the 3rd at 1:30 at Four Rivers Harley-Davidson out here at exit 11. The money raised in this is going for scholarships of the fallen soldiers' children so they can go to college. And I take my hat off to the ones that have got this set up. It's a worthwhile deal, I believe. I believe it's worthwhile.
How do you get your funding?
This flag right here that you've got, Mike, I hold flag signings. I have it.
So you would actually sign this flag right here?
Mm-hmm.
Our flags, the 438th has 4 of these now. Last year I helped 4 flag signings around Murray and Paducah. I give them these flags. I hold flag signings. Everything that we do, from the patches that we have to our gas to the flags, everything we do comes out of our pocket. We are a non-profit organization. Everything we do comes out of our pocket. Our patches, our mission pins, my hat. Then I have a donation jug sitting there where people can donate to help me buy more flags for more National Guard units, so I can keep going and going and going. I am a senior ride captain. I'm over 14 counties. I cover all of western Kentucky plus Crittenden, Caldwell, Livingston, Trigg, and Christian counties. We have a large area to cover over here. We do membership drives. I have a donation jug there that you can donate to help me cover some of this cost that I have to be out for these flags, mission pins.
If somebody was wanting to make a sizable donation to help you, would that be considered tax deductible? Is this something that they could deduct off their income tax, or?
Yes.
Now, do most funeral homes and service organizations, are they aware of what you do?
Not all of them, no. I'm sorry to say, not all of them.
That's something we're trying to get the word out to all of them.
The 3 of us have a goal. Our goal is to let every funeral home, every law enforcement agency, every fire station in these 14 counties that we cover, our goal is by the end of the year to let them know we are here, we're strong, we believe in what we do for our soldiers and our law enforcement officers and our firefighters.
How many riders do you have in Kentucky, approximately?
Somewhere around 2,500.
And nationwide, do you have any idea how many riders you would have?
Over 165,000.
Now, do the other motorcycle organizations, do they join with you many times on a ride?
Yes, they do. Dan is the assistant director for the Honda Goldwings Association, and his bunch comes and helps us. We try to work with every organization, club, anybody that rides a motorcycle. We try to work hand in hand with them when we work hand in hand with them, we go help them, they come and help us. We try to keep on a friendship basis.
If there was one word to describe what you all do, what would that one word be?
Awesome.
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 That covers it.
Well, from an outsider looking in, it seems to me that you all exhibit a tremendous amount of respect. It's your personal respect for these fallen heroes that drives you. Would that be a good assumption?
Yes, it would. And we don't do this for the glory or the news media, stuff like that. We don't do it for that. If we were on the street and you walked by and patted me or any of us on the back and said thank you, that's thanks enough for us right there.
Do you see this expanding and getting bigger than it is?
Very much so.
The trip we did the other day from Jackson to Fort Campbell, it didn't rain, it come a monsoon. And
yeah.
Some of us had CBs, and one of the gentlemen up at the front, we do the safety of talking and, telling the lane changes, whatever, said, it's getting pretty bad. What do you think about keep going? His wife was sitting behind him, and she keyed up and said, this is nothing what these boys and girls are going to be going through. Let's keep going. Every one of us said, that's right. And
exactly.
We just kept going.
Exactly.
We had the CB, the safety of talking back and forth on the CB for the road conditions, but it was nothing compared to what they were going to go through. We could put up with the rain. And, you know, that was just a way to honor them again.
So to be a member of this organization, and we will stress that word organization, you're not
Please.
a bunch of hippie holiday riders, that you have a purpose, you have a goal,
Yes.
and it's from the heart as opposed to any monetary value for you, because actually you'll probably end up losing money on the course of a year. And it would seem too that the average citizen, I think, once they learn of this program and what y'all do, I think we'll be able to provide some support in much needed areas that they can help you. And I can envision a lot of people wanting to step forward and saying, well, I can do this or I can't do that, but I will do it. And this could really, in my opinion, become a national organization that has a lot of clout. Not necessarily in political clout or, you know, it's me or it's somebody else. It's simply that men are gathering together, and women, to respect. And that's a word we don't hear too much of today. And you're to be commended for using that word and bringing it to the forefront, because that would be the ultimate respect for someone that has passed away. And is there anything else we missed today in discussing?
You asked a while ago about donations. We don't, money is great, yes, because it helps resupply our supply of flags and stuff. We're in desperate need of American flags, 4x8 American flags. We're in desperate need of PVC, scheduled 83/4 inch PVC pipe, 8 foot long. We need the long surveyor stakes to help. When we do a flag line, if we don't have enough people there, we try to drive stakes down or put the little rebar electric fence posts. We try to push them down and put our flags on top of them. Stuff like that is always useful.
Well, maybe this would be something you could put out in your literature, that you make a list of things that you need, because I think a lot of people would say, well, I'm not riding, I can't drive a car, I can't do anything, but by golly, I can go to the hardware store and help you guys out. Where do you store your materials that you have?
I keep it in my house.
You just keep them individually, and then when the call comes forward, then you step forward and gather it up and do what you're supposed to do.
Strap it on your motorcycle or somewhere.
There is one other thing that I have forgot. On our military funerals and on our law enforcement officers and our firefighters, the Patriot Guard Riders of Kentucky order a plaque. It's about like this. We try to have that plaque in before the service is over. We present that plaque to the family. It is just another way of saying thank you.
Well, if you would, for a couple minutes, would you discuss one of your favorite stories about a funeral that you attended, or something that really stands out as being a very special moment?
I believe the one the other day, it was just, they had the Apaches sitting there, and the two kept circling around as they was loading up. And like I say, they went out to the edge of the highway and faced off about 50 foot off, and we rode between them, and it was just as an awesome feeling. And then they flew up the road, and they'd fly up and circle around and position off. We'd ride by them, and they'd do it again. And it was just, I thought that was pretty awesome.
It's pretty special. Well, unfortunately, we'll probably be seeing more of these funerals, but I think it's a little reassuring, not only to the families, but to friends and just ordinary patriots, just people that love their country. Right. I think this will be a blessing to them to know that there are people willing to battle the elements and get out there and do something positive. This organization may be born out of protest, but I don't think the protesters get heard anymore, because people like you guys, you know, you're standing out there and you're putting a buffer between the families and those that would make some kind of noise. And I think you would be commended for what you do and how you do it. You do it with a bunch of professionalism, and I like that. And anything else you'd like? Have we missed anything that we need to get out to the public concerning your membership or
membership drive again, the membership deal again, you can go to www.patriotguard.org. It does not cost nothing to join. It's free. There is no meetings. You participate when you can, as often as you can. If you live in Kentucky, you can go to www.pgrofky.com. There's a place on there you can register. You have to register with the national. Either way you go about it, you've got to register with the national. And then we get all of your emails. We find out who you are. We'll send you an email letting you know what's going on.
Do you ever get any interference from other motorcycle organizations as to, are they sympathetic to your cause, or is there some conflict still?
There is no, so far we have not had no conflict with no other motorcycle organizations, clubs, or whatever. If an outlaw club was to see us coming down the road, they respect who we are and what we do, and they ride with us sometimes.
Well, that's good.
They ride with us.
Yeah, there's a list on our national thing there who all rides with us, and it's got.
Well, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming in today. Dan, Rick, and Charles. I think we've got a better understanding of what you do and how you do it. I think this program will perhaps encourage a lot of people to become involved. And we would like to thank you for visiting with us today also, as we've learned more about the Patriot Guard. And it's been good having these gentlemen here. And just remember, if you have a fallen hero, be sure and get in contact with these guys, because they provide a valuable and a very respectful service to the fallen member. So for this time, we say thank you and goodbye.